popularity from the hippies and the culture and stuff like that. So a lot of people were smoking weed, but a lot of people were also consuming heroin. Now, heroin is quite an addictive drug. Obviously, you can get a substance dependency upon it if you consume it. Weed doesn't seem to have that kind of effect. It just makes colours look pretty and food taste awesome. But let's imagine it's 1970 and I'm a police officer. Okay, so I am a cop, and this guy deals weed. Okay, this guy deals heroin. You're a heroin dealer, okay? You're going to be a heroin dealer. You deal weed as well. And you're an eccentric named Hank DeVries, and your parents own a sex shop, okay? So I would be patrolling the streets. And what would happen is cannabis dealer number 1 would start dealing some weed. So, we'll let this guy go.
Hey.
Yeah, these cars also have a motorbike license. They can go in the, even though it's got a steering wheel, so you can actually go in the ferry that's made for bicycles. You can go in the bike lanes. Everything. Okay, so cannabis dealer number 1 starts dealing some weed. Let's see your weed dealing. Deal some weed.
Would like to buy some weed?
It's a very kind of like traditional, straightforward tradesman kind of a weed dealer if I ever saw one. Dude, that was not subtle. So you're under arrest. You're under arrest. Don't resist. Let's get over here. And to the prison you go. So I take you to prison. Over here we go. I start to process you. Is this your first time being arrested, sir?
Yeah. Nope. It's not my first time.
I think a convincing yes does not come with an before it. Is this your first time being arrested? Yeah. You ain't got shit at me. So I gotta do some background checks. So I pull out my old 1970s filing cabinet. In the meantime, our heroin dealer here starts dealing some heroin. So you deal some heroin here.
Heroin?
But I'm doing a background check on this guy, so I've completely missed the heroin deal. We found some criminal records on you, so we're keeping you in.
Okay.
So I'm keeping him in. He goes home for his dinner, or however the shift structure of a heroin dealer works. And I come back out patrolling, and our cannabis dealer number 2 starts dealing weed. So you deal some weed now too. Let's see your weed dealing. Even more polite. Yeah. You go on then, let's. It's quite tentative. You are also under arrest. Coming into prison over here. There we go. You're from the Philippines, correct?
Yes.
Are they strict in the Philippines? The Southeast Asia's got some of the most strict laws in the world in terms of weed. Especially Malaysia and Singapore and Indonesia. Don't take weed into those countries, guys. They actually tell you on the plane as you land in Malaysia. Remember, smuggling large quantities of cannabis can lead to the death penalty. So that's kind of thing. But in the Philippines, not strict, not so much. Strict.
Strict, especially with our new president.
Oh yeah, he just shoots them on the spot, right? It's like, there's a deal. Done. Yeah. Okay, so I start to process you. Is this your first time that you're dealing, that you've been caught, you've been arrested? No. Okay. She's not even gonna lie. She's not gonna lie. So, okay, background check time for her. Once again, heroin dealer dealing the heroin.
Heroin for you.
So, imagine this on a city-wide scale. We've got the cannabis dealers, in jail, police spending lots of time on them, heroin dealers operating almost with impunity. This is a mess. The heroin is causing all kinds of societal destruction, and the cannabis is not. So the government come up with a new policy. They say if we find you with less than 15 grams of weed on you, we're not going to arrest you. So, you, madam, are released from prison. I feel like she does not belong in prison. She looks too innocent. And you, sir, you are released from prison as well. There we go, straight back. As soon as he gets back out into society, he starts dealing again. So,
You should buy some weed.
He's more forceful. I think he got toughened up. Yeah, he got toughened up in prison. Now he's like a forceful dealer. I catch him, but hold on, only 12 grams of weed, buddy. You're below the 15-gram new restriction, so you're actually free to go. I don't have to waste my time. So now I'm patrolling And our heroin dealer here starts dealing his heroin once more.
It was heroin.
Always to her, always to her.
It's my main client.
Yeah. I say, he gave it to her for free, and then she got addicted, and then she's going to rehab. She's going to rehab, but you, sir, are under arrest.
All right.
Wait, you're American, right? So we'll give the US cop experience. Get down! That's how people get arrested in America, in case you didn't know, guys. So we got the heroin dealer. Boo! Boo! But we still have a problem. The cannabis dealers now operate on the streets, dealing drugs with total impunity. And it's, you know, a bit of a kind of mess for the city. One day, Hank de Vries over here, he says, I am bored of selling sex shop things. His parents run a sex shop. He's bored of running the sex shop. He says, once you've sold one dildo, you've sold them all. You know, there's no, I don't have any, my creative juices are not being exercised here. So this is true. He was a very eccentric man. He actually ditched all the dildos from the sex shop in the canal at the front of his parents' sex shop. So pretend to throw some dildos into this canal over here. There they go. Super casual, look at that. You look very relaxing now. Have you done that before? have you ever thrown a dildo into a body of water in your life? Something everyone's got to do once in their life. So he says, he says I'm gonna sell. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna sell cannabis out of my parents' shop. The cops here, but this is a guy selling cannabis. Oh my goodness! What's this? So we go around, we grab the box, we weigh it. 500 grams of weed, buddy. We said you could have 15. You've slightly overshot the 15 mark with 500. So Hank de Vries gets arrested a bunch of times, but then the cops realise something. Where his shop is running, these guys don't hang out in that street anymore. Because why would anyone buy off them when they go in the shop and get it from Hank? He's got more, he sells it cheaper, he's got varieties. And they said, wouldn't this be better if the whole city ran like this? So they introduced a coffee shop licensing scheme. Hank was the first to get his coffee shop. Another one called Mellow Yellow that claims to be open even before Hank. It gets a coffee shop license, so we have 2 coffee shops in the city. And soon, by the 1990s, we reach peak coffee shop. We have 200 in the city.
Wow.
It's reduced slightly now, it's like 150 now, but a lot of coffee shops. And it worked. We've got now one of the lowest heroin addiction rates in Europe. We caught all the heroin dealers. The cannabis smoking rate did not increase dramatically. They did a survey in 2012. They discovered that New Zealand smokes the most weed per capita. The Dutch were way down in 20th place. They were behind many of the countries that you guys on this tour are from here today in terms of the weed that they smoke per person. So the liberalisation did not actually increase the population's weed smoking levels. It stayed steady. And I think that's something similar that they're finding in America. Yes, people will now go to Washington or Colorado to buy weed. In California soon, right? Yeah. That was your silver lining in November.
Yes.
You need it. You need it.
It's medical.
It's medical now, yeah. The whole state needs it because they're traumatized. But yes, people don't seem to. Like the most immediate studies don't seem to show a drastic increase in people smoking weed. People who smoke weed now can buy it in a shop. Some tourists come and buy it, but it doesn't increase the overall consumption of it. So
is it still legal to smoke outside here if it's under 15?
Technically, it's illegal to smoke it outside, but it's not like it's not strictly regulated. So I've seen people the police will shout at you, tell you to put it away. They might even take it off you, but they're not gonna.
Like outside the, like if we walk by it, you know, like a band try outside the coffee cafe.
Oh, some of them have a special permission, like the Bulldog, I think. Yeah, but to just walk down the street smoking it is technically not allowed. You know, it's supposed to be in a licensed coffee shop or in your house. Most local people who do smoke weed will take it to their house because they're more comfortable than in a coffee shop. Any questions about weed?
Why is it called a coffee shop?
Good question. Why is it called a coffee shop? Well, that license that was given to Hank de Vries was not a full legalization. So unlike in places like California, Washington, and Oregon and Colorado, where it's been fully legal from the point of growth, here it's actually illegal until it gets into the coffee shop, and then it's tolerated. So everything that happens before it gets into a coffee shop is actually happening still on the underground. And the toleration says that you're not allowed to market that you sell weed. You can't advertise it. So they call it a coffee shop. Coffee in English, shop in English is selling weed. If it's coffee written in Dutch, which has got K at the start and IE at the end, coffee, then it's selling actually espresso and lattes.
What's the difference? The K is for espresso.
Yeah. The Spanish spelling is coffee. Is weed, and the Dutch spelling.
So in the weed coffee shops, they don't actually sell coffee.
They do sometimes.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to sell alcohol. They usually sell soft drinks, and they sell really shitty coffee. They never sell good coffee. There's no place that's combined nice coffee with weed. I don't know why someone doesn't try that, but they've got a coffee machine. Like,
There's your business plan right there.
yeah, I think so. Well, actually, what's that? It's illegal to grow it. Yeah, they don't enforce the deliveries, but they do enforce the growth. There was a video that was memeing last winter, where there was a row of tenement houses in Amsterdam. They all had snow on the roof, except one that was like melted, and there was 2 cops at the door, and someone got a photo of that, which I thought was cool. Just the moment when the cops are going around to the melted. So that's still illegal. No, that's still illegal.
How they get it then?
Yeah, they just do the same ways that like they do in illegal countries.
Yeah.
Alrighty guys, I don't have a good segue from this to the next, but we're going to go now to Anne Frank's house. So let's go now.
All right.